yes to fairer votes. It's not about party politics. It's not about anyone winning or losing. It's about the British public getting a better say in the way they're governed. It's about politicians being more accountable and having to work harder. And I think we could win it. Actually, I'm feeling like we could win it. We're just going to go to people, offer them a leaflet. We're going to ask them what they think about the fact that the bill's just been passed, and what they think about the fact that the House of Lords almost stopped it even though nobody voted for them, and they're talking about us voting. So, how much legitimacy do they have to talk about us voting when they're unelected themselves? So that's what we're going to do, and we're just going to do a bit of that. How do you feel about the fact that an unelected body of people who are sort of bishops and peers and born into it almost stopped us having to say how I voted?
How do I feel about it?
What do you think about that?
It's tricky, isn't it? Because the House of Lords can do good.
And do you think AV is a fair voting system? Do you think the idea of giving each MP 50% of the vote is a sensible idea?
Let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. Brilliant. All right.
Will you be voting for alternate voting on May the 3rd? Thank you very much.
To be honest, I don't think I've got enough information. I'd like to know a bit more. I'm interested in politics. My inclination would be that perhaps it might be fairer. What I think is a huge problem is people don't not enough people go out to vote. I think it's the important issues that currently people vote. I think it is worrying.
We're here again, just talking to people on the street, asking sort of public opinion about how they feel about the change in the voting system that hopefully they're going to get in May, or the chance to vote on it, and yeah, that's what we're doing. So how do you feel about the change?
I'm saying I'm quite undecided because I think that it's quite an unfair system at the moment where you can have somebody who's just in a small, slightly sensitive constituency. However, on the other side, we could end up with a situation where everybody gets their second chance effectively.
Absolutely, yeah. Well,
if people are going to make a really informed decision, then it would be a good thing.
What do you think about the fact that the House of Lords, unelected Lords, tried to deny our right to vote on this? How do you feel about that?
I feel quite strongly that's really bad.
Yeah.
I think they've got way too much power when people are elected.
They do have quite a lot of power, considering a lot of them have either just got the seat through birth or like it. I do like the idea. Yeah, you'll be voting for it.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. I'm all up for something new, because why not?
Exactly, I mean...
Everyone, do you know what it is? People just get like, that's the way we're going to do it, and that's it. But it shouldn't be that way, Just change.
Again, one of the no campaigns, one of their comments was, if it's not broken, don't fix it. If it is broken, do fix it.
Well, where would we be if that was if everyone looked like that? How would anything progress? Do you know what I mean? We're still wearing little frilly skirts, which I'm alright with that. You know what I mean? Right, crap anyway, I'm going to get approved. Alright, I'll get everyone. Cheers.
Okay, so I'm voting yes because I want a more representative parliament. I want greater dialogue. And I want people to actually start talking to each other when it comes to decide policy. I don't want it to remain just a cabal of the strong voices. Everybody needs a voice.
The No campaign hasn't actually come out and defended what is so great about First Past the Post yet. And we've said enough about what's bad about it, but what's good about AV? Well, AV gives you so much more of a say in your democracy. I mean, it gives you a say because you get the choice of who you really want to vote for instead of tactical voting, but also because of the way that people are going to have to campaign. They're going to have to change the way they campaign to be more positive, to reach out to the whole community. It's going to make politics better. It's going to make it better from top to bottom. It's a small change, but the influence it could have is quite impressive. It's quite big.
It's about voting yes on May the 5th.
Well, I got involved with the Yes to Fairer votes by street canvassing, and Sam here, he came up to me and asked me if I knew what AV was. I had a nice debate about it.
So this is Sam, and Sam's one of our volunteers. Sam, why did you get involved with Yes to Fairer votes?
Well, I just thought it was really important to try and change the way our voting system is as it is currently, because I think it's really unfair at the moment, and I think we've got a chance now with the referendum to try and change like the politics for the better. Because obviously now you can get a constituent or an MP in a constituency that's not even representative of like the views of a constituency, isn't it? So this way, I think it's much fairer way going forward for the future.
Okay, so I've just been on the No to AV website, and their main claim against AV, the reason that we shouldn't adopt AV, is actually financial. It's going to cost us, you know, £250 million apparently.
How does that work? 250?
250
Seems a
million
bit steep, that does.
Yeah, well, that's the referendum,
Right?
which actually I suppose isn't. The referendum isn't really AV actually, so I suppose that doesn't really count as a cost of AV.
How much is that?
That's 82. And voter
Right,
education,
okay.
that's 90 million. It doesn't. But it's going to cost 160 million pounds. Although actually the voting machines won't exist and don't exist in Australia. That's not true. So I suppose we better cut that.
Scrap that as well.
Scrap that as well. 30 million pounds to change our. I mean, who do we think we are? You know, at a time of economic hardship, we just can't afford to, you know, better our democracy. I mean,
You couldn't possibly spend 30 million on democracy, could
couldn't
you?
spend 30 million on, you know, you could buy a footballer for that.
Much more useful that is.
A professional footballer.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we think we're doing? Campaigning to waste the price of a professional football player. I mean, a proper one, like Wayne Rooney. You know, is Wayne Rooney worth fairer votes? We
Democracy
think so.
or Wayne Rooney?
Democracy or Wayne? Sorry, Wayne. It's democracy.
Democracy gets my vote.
Democracy gets my vote. We're saying yes to fairer votes.